Oh hey, my name's Ryan, and I wanted to take the time to preface the video you're about to watch with some context. It is most likely, in all of its unlikeliness, that if you've come across me on the internet, it's been because of a training video. And to anyone generous enough to follow me along on that specific journey, well, I greatly appreciate you. But one of my other great passions besides training is the outdoors and, well, going on adventures. And so what you're about to see is a recollection of my 30th birthday trip, where myself and a few of my closest friends and family traveled to Cape San Blas in Florida in the Panhandle for a fishing trip. Now let it be known that we'll be doing primitive camping, so we'll only have access to the gear that we bring unless we make the trek out of where we're staying to grab more gear from the nearby city. My favorite type of fishing, hands down, is surf fishing, specifically land-based shark fishing. Here are a few of my favorite catches I've had in my lifetime. And before we move forward, please know that I respect the environment and the fish as much as possible. I have an out-of-state Florida fishing license. I have taken and passed the mandatory land-based shark fishing test for Florida. I use the proper gear such as heavy rods, reels, and line, as well as inline non-stainless steel circle hooks. All of this to ensure the fastest and safest catch and release possible, and not only for myself, but also for the sharks. This trip occurred through the dates of December 5th through December 9th of 2024, and it is actually my first time surf fishing in the winter. I had done some research, and apparently in the wintertime in the Panhandle, you have higher odds of landing some pretty beautiful and remarkable shark species, such as duskies, makos, and even great whites, with a more common chance at sandbars and blacktips. So with this information, let's start that journey and pick up where I leave work on that fateful winter day. All right, I think probably the best way to structure this video is to literally just take you along this journey with me as it unfolds. On my way to go pick up the old man from his house, the house I grew up in. Then we're gonna go to my house, pack up all the gear, and we're gonna hit the road. Got a long drive ahead of us. It's about 6 hours from where I'm at in Georgia to the Cape, but I look forward to long drives now. I enjoy it. So pick up the old man, head to my house, and I'll see you when we get there. You. Literally the house I grew up in. It's always crazy coming back to this place because it feels like a long time ago, and then at the same time it feels like just yesterday. You know what I mean? So anyways. One of the better pack jobs I've ever done. Loaded down, got all the gear ready to go. Let's make the trip to the Cape. You. Kind of sounded like my voice cracked there. Let's try that again. You. All right, little update. Been driving for about 4 hours now, about two and a half hours out. Really stoked with how solid this has felt so far. This is the first time I've ever put a kayak on top of a bed rack for a truck, and this rack feels pretty solid. Would definitely recommend doing something like this if you're packing heavy, just to free up space in your bed, especially if you have a kayak. I think it's the way to go. So 2 more hours, see when we get there. All right, we're here, Mainstay Suites. It took us a long time to get here, probably like 7-8 hours with traffic. It's all good though. Plan is to wake up in the morning, grab some breakfast at the hotel, and then we are on our mission to get some bait. That's number one. So, you guys come here often? Alright, here is the plan for this morning. As I said yesterday, bait is of #1 importance right now, and I'm hoping to get a lot of it. I have 2 different leads on bait, and so I'm going to go handle one lead. No idea what the guy's going to give me. I just found him through the internet looking up shark fishing charters on Cape San Blas. Contacted him. He was nice enough to give me some bait, and then I'm going to send Bear Dog over to Port St. Joe Shrimp Company because hopefully they have some rays for me. Then we're going to reconvene at Blue Water Outriggers, and hopefully they'll have some shrimp, some live shrimp. Can't get enough live shrimp, you know. It's always fun just to throw out there and see what you can catch. I'll post you with some updates once we get some bait. Also, while we were eating breakfast, I was talking to some guys that have a really cool job. They use this equipment right here, and they monitor river systems to make sure that it's healthy, not only for the wildlife, but also safe for big boats to pass through. And they were telling me about dissolved oxygen and atmospheric pressure and all sorts of cool stuff. So the more you know. That's a sweet cart.
I don't need it. I don't need it. I definitely don't need it. I need it!
It's always so cool going to a tackle shop by the coast, because I'm in inland Georgia. You don't get to see nearly, like, not even half of this kind of stuff. So it's just cool seeing all the different things that fishing offers, you know, things that you wouldn't even be aware of based upon your application, freshwater, saltwater. Although similar, you know, applications can be so much different, the tackle can be so much different. It's just kind of like exciting to look at all this stuff. I've definitely grown to have an appreciation for tackle in and of itself. So it's funny when you come into a store like this, you gotta tell yourself, you gotta ask yourself, do I need it? Do I need it? Because the answer is most likely no, right? Because you can really easily convince yourself, yeah, that I need this, and I need that lure and this rod, and end up spending a lot more money than you should. So stay strong, stay strong. All right, cool. So just got done with Blue Water. Gonna pick up some groceries and wait on my brother and Eli to get here, and then we're gonna go out to the camping spot. But listen, your boy's done good on bait, all right? And I'll say that this is the best we've ever done in terms of having bait from the start. A lot of the times when I've gone on trips like this in the past, we've started out with just, like, you know, frozen shrimp or frozen squid or whatever and try to work our way up the food chain. But we, as of right now, have like 5 stingrays, jack, I think a barracuda, like 3 bonito, 2 dozen frozen shrimp, and like 8 mullet. So we can fish right from the start. You know what I'm saying? We can do exactly what we want. That's a huge plus. Feeling really confident so far, and just enjoying it, man. I love trips like this. It's just fun. You know, getting out, getting after it, just kind of testing yourself. It's a blast every step of the way. So next time I see you, I'll either be, I don't know, who knows where the wind will take us. We'll see.
For more info, visit superleague.com/metaburst. Welcome.
I remember back in my day when gas cost 25 cents a gallon. This friggin' economy, I tell you. Gonna cost you a friggin' arm and a leg to get from point A to point B, huh? Come on.
Long bills, because short bills was closed.
I think it's just because you're small. You do look small. Hello, thank you.
You want to come sit over here, Barry?
No, I'm fine. I'm okay.
It's for cars right now.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people?
Yes, ma'am. Sorry.
And what site did you choose?
I believe it was site 5.
Okay.
Let me just make sure. 5 or 6. Rather. The 6, yeah. Site 6.
Yeah. Alright, a little creative writing there. Fixes that.
Thank you. Got any other ones booked this weekend?
Not as of yet, no.
For bird watching? Top 25, Barry.
Let's get unpacked, get everything organized, and then hit the trail.
I got a sleepy pad thing. Okay. That air mattress you had.
Cartoon. Hey, we're not taking this, right? Nah. With the national park. I couldn't tell. It's better to be over-prepared.
All right, switching over to the GoPro. We are absolutely loaded down with gear, and you know, I expected it to be loose sand, but there was a hope that it would be some kind of more compact sand, or you know, there's like an inkling of a hope for a trail with a firm bottom, but it is what it is. We're gonna have to go slow. Got a 1.5 miles to go. We'll get there when we get there. This is also part of what I was actually looking forward to. It's a good hike. When you get there, it feels like more of a journey, but you earned it, you know? One cool thing about these trips is that each time you go, it's like a new iteration, right? And that iteration is upgraded based upon your previous experience. So each time you go, everything gets a little bit more easy. You get a little bit better, more convenient, more efficient, right? The whole thing. And I think just already, based upon this hike we have ahead of us, the next iteration has to be a cart with big balloon tires, or even 4 wheels, you know. Just make it easier on yourself. If you have the means to do so, make it easier on yourself. So that way you have more energy to do the fun part, the really fun part. But again, at the end of the day, like, it's all good. I enjoy the physical aspect. And like I said, I was actually looking forward to this hike. So we're in good spirits. Gonna keep chugging along. Eli, how you feeling, buddy?
I'm feeling it, for sure.
You're feeling it. It's not easy, but good thing we're a couple of young, strapping men ready to get after the thing. Got any motivational words?
We're entering the pain cave.
That's right.
It's either time to get hard, man.
Wait, what?
Pause.
The worst part is walking back to turn you off, but I love you, so I'm gonna do it, you know? So the hike proved to be a little harder than anticipated, but we're trying to work it out, right? So we're putting 2 on each cart. Unfortunately, this cart right now only has me, so I'm gonna pull this for as long as I can, or I'm just gonna keep pulling until someone else comes. With Barry's cart, we're gonna split it in half and then make the final trek to the campsite. I've already seen the campsite. It's honestly maybe like one of the most beautiful spots I've ever seen. Very secluded, private, got access to the bay and ocean side. It's like a dream, truly. So you and me until who knows when, and then you know, someone's gonna come help us. Just past campsite 3. So I want to say there's either 14 or 16 primitive campsites. They're all marked like that, which is really, really cool. And we're going to 6. So I want to say I'm about halfway from this point right here. If this is a kind of trip that would interest you, like look up your local state park, and they probably have so many resources that you would just never be aware of if you didn't look it up. So right here on the way in is the first kind of decent shot of the ocean. I don't know if you can see that, but over there is Bayside. Over here is Oceanside, but ocean looks beautiful. So let's see if I can get you a better shot on the way there. I did train for this also. For maybe the past 2 months, I took like a 30 to 45 minute ruck, mostly Tuesdays and Thursdays. Backed off of weight training a little bit, and I'm so glad I did that. I feel really good right now. I feel like I have a lot of juice left in the tank. Two more to go.
There he is. Right guy. Just wait right there. They're coming to get you.
Rescue. Words of wisdom here?
Words of wisdom. Gear makes all the difference.
Yes. How do you, what do you mean? Like,
Fat tires. Strong friends help.
got the hardest hill coming up. That's her right there. It honestly doesn't look that bad on camera, but I promise it's a doozy. Good thing I got my workhorse here. Couldn't do without him.
Had to come back and save him.
Yeah, I honestly didn't move at all from the time they dropped me off.
Short and choppy.
Almost there. We are probably 100 yards that way, 100 yards that way. We're there.
Success. Here's camp so far, the beginnings of camp. Next order of business is getting our tents, hammocks put up. Probably make a fire, get dinner started. So I'm gonna find a spot for my hammock and see how that goes.
This is what they call the presidential suite, if you will.
You're to dig that out to where it fits his body just right. You lay back,
right.
you don't-
That's gonna be a big hole.
I mean, really, all you want is just for it to lay up, right? We'll have to take that downhill.
All right, it is currently 5:46. We're working on getting firewood. Got a good fire started already. You can see it over there. But I'm just gonna kind of organize the fishing gear. Ice down the bait one more time. Kind of just get all this situated and ready to go in the morning. In the morning we have crazy hike up that dune and then a pretty good walk over to the ocean side, but it should be a lot of fun. Let's get this situated and then we'll start cooking some dinner.
Yeah, but we just did it for pride. We were just doing it for the love of the game.
Hatchet?
No, remember the saw part.
Oh, it's in the back of the bike down there. I made sure not to put it in the sand or anything like that.
No, you're good. I was about to stir with it.
Barry, what's on the menu for tonight?
Tonight, we're gonna have a appetizer of a little just simple beef bouillon soup, just to warm the bones a little bit. Next, we'll have some Italian marinara pasta. It's actually an MRE from Auger Farms, I believe. Really, really strong stuff. And then we'll finish with some cast iron bread with honey butter.
Oh yeah.
Mmm.
Oh yeah.
All kinds of shit.
You got like 2 bites
Whatever you
left.
do, do not try to.
just laid down, got the tent zipped up, and today was awesome. A lot of fun, even just like all the work and getting everything set up. Total blast. I don't know, not much else to say. Get a good night's sleep, fall asleep reading some Thomas Merton, 7-Story Mountain. See you in the morning with a cup of coffee in hand. It got really cold last night. I knew there was a cold front moving in, but I went to bed just being able to wear this hoodie and these sweatpants with no blanket on me. And then in the middle of the night, I had to put my long johns on and lay underneath this hoodie. So I don't want to get up right now. I would love for that sun to come up and warm everything up. But I'm going to get up, start a fire, get some coffee going. A big day ahead of us. Let's put one on the sand. How'd you sleep last night?
I slept pretty good actually. I was it got a little cold around like maybe 2:33 a.m. Had to put my socks back on, but yeah, getting off the ground and in the hammock in the sleeping bag was definitely the move.
Solid night rest. Feeling good?
Sleeping bag is crucial.
Yep. I didn't bring one. All right. This is the first leg of the day if we choose to go oceanside, which we may go bayside, just because of the wind. But nevertheless, we still have to do this at some point to fish over here. So we have, I don't know, decent little hike up this sandy hill. And let me show you what happens when we get up to the top. Once we get up here, we're about 250, 300 yards to the beach of winding dunes to get through, which is honestly going to be a little crazy with all the gear. So probably just going to leave all the fishing equipment about halfway through, so we'll have to keep taking it back and forth. It's alright, look at what's beyond that. Ocean looks great, not too rough of a surf. I think the juice is definitely worth the squeeze. Let's go get some breakfast, get everything ready.
What's a Kindle?
Like a Barbie and Ken doll.
There's going to be so many weird conversations I'm capturing on this that I have to figure out
How to edit out.
Yeah. Just leave them in.
No edits. One shot wonders.
Yeah, no edits.
More water in there.
Cheers.
Pepperoni. So your birthday's tomorrow?
It is.
Plan is to get the cart, bait cart up, kayak's got to go up, this cart's got to go up, and then we're going to take all the rods and reel separately. So, got to get everything down there, and we'll get beach camp set up, start fishing. How you feeling, big guy?
Feeling like I'm walking in place.
When you're asked how you're feeling, you can't say anything.
Grab on.
It's actually a huge help. Slowly but surely, we're gonna get there. Going down is such a dream. Kind of amazes me we can see a trail, almost. First glance at the beach. That's what we're able to get that trip. Just gonna have to be piece by piece, no big deal. We'll get it done. But there's not a soul in sight for miles. Let's get to it. Do y'all have any words for this trip?
Snagglepuff.
All right, Snagglepuff. Part of it right here. The work is part of it. That's what makes it so much more fun. Yeah. Work smarter, not harder, as they say. The sand actually gets a little bit more compact up here, which is nice because we've been walking on sugar sand. Nice change of pace, just a little bit easier on the legs. All right, last trek to the beach, taking the rods and reels. And then we finally get to start fishing. What we came here for. Next order of business is getting beach camp set up, which is a little tedious. We gotta get the PVCs in the ground, gotta get all the rods lined up, tie all the leaders onto them. But that's kind of like the last stop before we get to fish, right? So kind of start to feel that tingle a little bit. Let's get that set up and then we'll kayak out the first bait. Just a little trick for your PVCs. You don't need a hammer, you don't need a shovel. All you gotta do is get some water, some sand, obviously. So right where the ocean meets the sand, just give it a good suck.
Pause.
First knot of the trip. Good old-fashioned Palomar. There she is. Okay. 10:35, first drop. Here we go. That was some serious torque right there. Dang. Hooked up to the first shark of the trip. Doesn't feel too awful big. My guess is a small black tip or sandbar. Finally got to feel a little bit of weight there. Might be a little bit bigger than I thought. Or maybe I just finally got tight. There was an initial really big bow on the line, so I might have just got that bow out really good. All right. All right, once I got her lead up on the beach, put it in here and free spool the clicker on, okay?
Free spool down.
Yeah, not right now, you're good right now. It's a tag shark, it's got a tag in it. It's a big sandbar. All right, here we go.
Got it. It's out.
It's out.
Out.
Clear that leader for me, Barry. Yahoo! So did not expect that to happen that fast. Kind of in the middle of just making sure camp was set up. Rod started going off. Really jumped into action pretty efficiently there. Everyone did a great job. Everyone knew what they were supposed to do. That first fish on the new rod felt great. That Okuma Makaira 80 land-based shark edition, I mean, just really put a hurting on that shark. I don't even think she pulled drag, but that's good. You know, get him in, get him out green. She swam off really, really strong. Whole process probably took 10-15 minutes. Initially thought it was a dusky, but pretty sure that she was a sandbar with that kind of distinct, really, really big dorsal fin. First one on the board. Got the monkey off our backs. Let's go get another one. Phew. A little bit of time has passed since recently last checked in. No real new updates other than fishing the bait rods now. We've got the spinning reel that we're kayaking out as well, and that's got a mullet head on it, so really excited about that. Hopefully something picks that up, because that would be a ton of fun. Still just kind of getting camp organized just a little bit more. Right now we're putting up the shade as well, just to keep the bait covered, just try to keep it as fresh as possible. Even though it's December, it's thawing out a little bit, and we're going to be here for the rest of today and tomorrow, so we want it to last as well as we can. So that's what we're doing right now. I'm just kind of hanging out, waiting for the next bite. All right, got a boy TP on his first drop. Going about 175, 200 strokes or so. The man's a machine, built for things like this, truly. There he goes. Taught him everything he knows. Look at him. Majestic, some might say. Smooth sea, never made for a skilled sailor, my dear boy. First fish on the bait rod. Beautiful little whiting.
What is it?
Whiting. Beautiful whiting. Got that distinct kind of silver, nearly orange tint, but not so orange, very faint. You know, it's funny, no matter how excited you are and gung-ho about a trip, once 2, 3, 4 o'clock rolls around and that circadian dip hits you, and you're sitting in a chair looking at the ocean, it's hard not to take a nap. So we're all just kind of easing by right now, taking a quick power nap. Rods are still in the water and we're fishing, so still on somewhat of an alert, but really easy going right now. I mean, yesterday was just crazy trip in, expended a lot of energy, and then this morning expended a ton of energy again as well, getting out everything out onto the beach. Not to mention we didn't sleep, or I didn't sleep too good last night, but it is what it is. You know, when you go on a trip like this, for some reason you can muster a little bit more energy than you usually would, especially if you're excited and just want to be here. So things are looking really good right now. At the end of the day, you bring all this gear out and you plan for it, and you know the expectation is that you catch something, but even still, just being here
and being away puts things into a different perspective that's really useful, right? And so, you know, we always say it's not necessarily about catching the fish, and that's true. That's true, especially on a trip like this. It's just going and doing it, testing yourself, having fun, building relationships. That's truly, at the end of the day, what all this is about. And the fishing is just a very, very good bonus. All right, we're feeling a little bit better. Got some energy back. We're gonna do a full bait shift on every rod and reel and get them ready for some evening time fishing. The boys have got some bouillon soup cooking up. I think that's how you pronounce that. Got some dogs in there as well. It's gonna be delicious. So that's the plan, full bait shift on every rod. Get back to good, hard fishing again. Little hot dog bouillon soup, can't beat it. Oh, baby, it's delicious. Eli, if you could describe this in 2 words, what would you say, this soup right here?
Warm.
Ooh. Oh, another sip. Oh, that's a strong word, brother. Love it. Think your bait's still on, yes or no?
Yeah.
What you about to do with this drop right here, Barry?
Take this a long way. Thinking 300, maybe 400 yards.
Woo-hoo-hoo!
About as flat as it's gonna be today.
Yep.
Right now.
I'm for it.
So, get naked and go.
What kind of, wait, what?
Pause. Can you blow this?
Yeah.
All right. People are gonna tell you that you need a wetsuit and you need, no, none of that. What you need is más huevos. Grande huevos.
Hey, life jacket, life jacket, life jacket. Safety first, right? Always. Godspeed, bear dog. Just dropped a short bait off. I don't know, about 75 yards from shore or so. But just wanted to take the time to say how incredibly important safety is. When I was doing this in my early 20s, just getting into it, I didn't account for safety as much as I should. Did a lot of drops without a life jacket on, without a paddle leash, and without a really seaworthy kayak. And now that I have a son, safety is my #1 priority, and it always should have been. It shouldn't have, you know, taken having a son in order for that to happen. But don't ever skip out on your safety in terms of, you know, monetary value, gear, decision making. Always keep your safety. It's the #1 priority. It's always humbling being out on the ocean in a kayak, although it's honestly pretty majestic, gorgeous, beautiful. At the same time, you're towing the edge of what Mother Nature really allows you to do. And so let's not tempt her. Be safe so you can continue having fun and enjoying Mother Nature for all your years to come. All right, currently it is 5:05. I don't know if you can see that or not. That's what the watch says. And we are fishing. Every rod is out. Really good drops, fresh bait. They're all stuck pretty good. Now we're just gonna fish the evening out. Probably do a quick pickup around camp just to make sure there's no odds and ends that are out. Fish into the evening until it gets dark. Head back to camp at some point, base camp that is. That's the idea. All right, so obviously nighttime, and it's only like 6:45, which is crazy that it's this dark, but made the decision that I'm gonna sleep out here tonight. Brother is gonna bring out some of the stuff that I'm gonna need because that's back at base camp. But until then, I have 2 rods out. Once
he leaves, after he comes back, I'll just be fishing one. But you know, I came out here to do something. It's give myself the best shot at putting as big of a shark as possible on the sand. And so, you know, if I'm here, I might as well fish the night. So I think, just to make it a little easier on myself in terms of noise, being able to hear the clicker, and also just falling asleep easier, I'm gonna move camp back a little bit away from the ocean, just to get away from those waves crashing, that sound just a little bit. Even just moving, I don't know, 30 yards back. I don't know if you can tell or not, even already, that the sound of the ocean is just a little bit more quiet. I think that'll give me a little bit better peace of mind in terms of falling asleep and just being able to hear any nuance of the clicker. So that's the plan. Got a lot of stuff to move, but I mean, it's only 8:02, so the night is really still young. I don't know if I set it all today, and I guess it doesn't matter that much at night, but I like to set all the most important tools just on something. I like this red cloth because it breaks the just that mundane pattern of the sand. You can see it really easily. You know exactly where your most important tools are. Just something I like to do. Make sure I'm staying on top of things. I thought this was pretty cool. Sunglasses are always one thing you're losing out here, especially if you don't have some sort of attachment to hang them around your neck. And this book bag right here that I found at the Academy for like 60 bucks has a sunglass pocket. So I know that that's where I'm gonna put them when I'm done with them. Little stuff like that really goes a long way. Just make sure I get each corner pinned down by something. The wind's not gonna be too awful strong tonight, but still don't want that shade flying away at all. So
Islands, they're one piece. If you need to lift one up, Brian.
Try to get some sleep and just wait out the night. Hopefully something happens, but really just want to give it my absolute best shot. So this is exactly what that is. So just kind of showing you what I'm working with here. Just move these 3 chairs together, and just gonna kind of lay across them so I can stay up out of the sand. But this should work well. All right. Good night. Optional adversity. I'm not sure where I first heard the phrase, but I know it's been with me for a couple years now. I've used the phrase in 2 main ways which mirror my personality and reflect quite a bit about my core beliefs. Firstly, I've used the phrase as a tongue-in-cheek joke to describe an action someone has taken, usually against common practice or practical application, that makes the desired outcome or task harder than it has to be for a near identical result. It's a low stake, low deviation from the norm, either to satisfy a preference, achieve a better outcome, or perhaps take the path that feels more comfortable, one that won't reveal weakness, lack of knowledge, or skill. This application of the phrase is more surface level, but like most things, truth must exist or the premise wouldn't be funny. But when I lean deeper into what the phrase optional adversity means to me, however, I'm faced with some uncomfortable feelings. Why? Because despite a frequent light-hearted application, I believe to my core that we need to understand ourselves. To do that, we must present ourselves with adversity. Despite my conviction that this is true, I become uncomfortable because I know that I've let myself down in this endeavor time and time again. I've had wins, no doubt, but more often than not, I want to admit I take the easy way out or fail to answer the call to action. Failing to meet that call causes distrust in myself and self-esteem, takes a hit, hence the uncomfortable feeling. It's taken me these past couple of years, honestly my entire life, to learn that I will fail to keep more promises to myself than I will succeed at. To believe otherwise is ego manifest. Examples might include promising myself that I'm going to read more or eat healthier, that I will listen more than I speak or call my parents more. That one stings when I fail, and I often do. However, I believe that making these little promises to myself and others is how we start taking actions that help us get to where we want to go. Choosing to add some optional adversity to my life helps in this regard because when I succeed, I'm building trust with myself again. Now, I'm no masochist, but if you can present yourself with challenging circumstances and overcome them, you will inevitably build trust in yourself as well as self-confidence. Luckily and amazingly, the ways you can do this are only limited by your imagination. Maybe it's the cold plunge or sauna, talk therapy or exercise. Maybe it's donating money, volunteering your precious time, or a commitment to mind your business and not rush in to save the day. Maybe it's an intense camping trip devoid of many luxuries like running water, shelter, and heat. All of these examples involve denying our instincts to make or keep our lives cozy and manageable, and instead, maybe sometimes we should choose to do something hard because we will be better for it. There's no right answers for all of us, but there are right answers for each of us. We must present ourselves with the opportunity to overcome something in the spirit of growth. Not one of us will make it out of this life untested. I'd prefer when I walk in the valleys of my life, I haven't spent my time pretending to be only at the top of the mountain where valleys don't exist. Before I finish, I think it's also important to note that optional adversity doesn't mean suffering per se. I do not believe you have to have adversity in order to build self-esteem and trust. I don't hate the sauna, but sometimes it gets really hard to stay in. I don't hate primitive camping. In fact, I love it. But I still get ridiculously cold and my muscles ache from it. However, every time I get warm because I built a fire or reach the destination, muscles screaming and lungs be damned, I feel like I might be able to handle other hard things a little bit better than I did before. That's why we should do hard things. Add some optional adversity to your life and prove to yourself you are who you want to be. You will be tested, and when you are, you need to know that you can answer the call. It is currently about 3:30. It's kind of drifting in and out of sleep. And I had a run on the Mac 80. It was only for about 10 seconds or so. I got the belt on, got ready to go, and then it dropped. So it seems like the bait's still there. So I'm just gonna let it sit. Hopefully it'll come back. No dice after that run at like 3:45 last night. Ended up getting pretty chilly out here, but managed to stay relatively warm and do fine. But it is really gorgeous out here in the morning, and this is also a reason why I wanted to stay out here, just to wake up, be able to see the ocean, and I'll show you. Almost no surf, just glassy. I'll give you a full 360 degrees. Gorgeous. Very rare do you get to go to the beach and do not see a soul in sight either way. And not only that, but there's no buildings, right? There's nothing built up at all. It's just the way that the beach would be if no human had ever been here. And it's cool to see. So what I am gonna do is take a quick hike back to base camp, brush my teeth, maybe put on some different clothes, grab some breakfast and coffee. Reeled up both the baits, so nothing's fishing right now. Pains me to do this because the morning is so beautiful and this is like the opportune time. But at least we got to fish the sunset and see the sunset. So make a quick stop at base camp and then we'll head back out. This view gets me every time. That will never get old. These sissies aren't even up yet. What are we doing? Huh? Did I what?
You want to get in?
Sure.
Balls.
Out in front, then you can just squat.
I added too much water, but
Too much or no?
I think too much. If you add too much, it gets sticky. He says it needs to be just enough so that it doesn't stick to the sides. If it sticks to the sides, it's too much. Tell me when.
She's ready. What?
Try to get it more.
Yeah, Ryan.
Yeah.
This one.
Flour, cinnamon, sugar, salt, water, yeast, honey butter.
Brother. Way better than the first batch.
Here, sure.
Oh, phenomenal.
Pour in this.
It's where like it'll be the camera this way and the gay glass. Dude, it's like
Right. Oh, look at this. All right. Good little refuel there. A lot of fats, a lot of protein, a lot of carbs, a lot of everything. Slammed, bottle of electrolytes. Let's get back to fishing. Headed back towards beach camp. Let's go drop some baits. All right, we are back. All right, we got Eli on his first drop ever. They grow up so quick, you know? So proud of them. Beautifully done, sir. Do you feel any pull out there? Is it just like a pond almost?
pretty much like a pond.
Yeah. That was a bomb. Hey, somebody give me a Diet Coke. How far out did I get, would you say? Yeah? All right. Another drop. We're going Kauno's Ray on this one. This one I won't do quite as far, but I'm still gonna do pretty far. First time ever being in a Hobie, and I absolutely love it. You can truly tell the difference in the engineering of it, the shape of the hole. It tracks super well. Wherever you point it is where you're gonna go. Down she goes. Head back in. Oh my gosh, how disturbing. Oh God, so ugly. It is 2:48 on Saturday. It's my birthday. It's my 30th birthday today. And honestly, haven't really thought about that. Just kind of
been enjoying being out here. But what's going on right now, we're gonna do a quick bait exchange on the 2 smaller poles, and then just still continue to wait it out. Nothing too much has happened. Never fished in winter time like this off the surf, and it's a little bit slower than I thought, but you know, I don't know if I can attribute that to all of winter surf fishing, because it's the only time I've done it. So it could be just a couple of peculiar days as well, but spirits are still really high. Was pretty fatigued this morning from not sleeping really well the past 2 days, so I took a little power nap, but we're feeling good. Feeling good. All right, see what happens. All right, we got Bear Dog going on the first series of bait exchanges here. We're gonna push this reel a little bit farther this time. We're thinking about 225 yards total. So getting past the shallower water and into the deeper water by about 30 or 40 yards. We'll see how it goes. Second bait exchange, Eli's out, dropping a midsection of bonita. I'm gonna let this sit for a little bit. It's currently 3:07, so we've got about 3.5-ish hours of sunlight left. You know, if there was the time, I feel good about now, so we'll see what happens. I don't know if you can see what I'm seeing, but I'm looking at the sunset right now. It's currently 5:42. We've got all of the rods in the water. We're still fishing, but we packed up camp because around 7:30 we're gonna stop fishing, head in and cook some dinner. Gonna call it a little bit earlier tonight, just because we gotta get up and get out tomorrow. So we got about another hour 45 of fishing. Hopefully something happens, and I'll check in if it does.
It's always hard to pack up on the last day. For one, you're exhausted, and an already tiresome job of packing up beach camp has become exacerbated through intense fatigue. It takes a bit of a second, or really a third wind, to muster up the energy to make that final pack. You eventually get to it, however, you always do. I mean, who else on God's green earth is going to pack up all of your crap for you? The hardest thing of all to pack up, however, is not the chairs or the coolers. It's not the miscellaneous trash and odds and ends. It's not that trustworthy beach shade, whom without you surely would have been more than kissed by the sun. No, the hardest thing to pack up of all is the last rod. I always save the rods for last. Why not ink out every bit of fishing time you have? As long as the line is out, the chance remains. It is that last slow winding of the reel that is the hardest of all. You know, as every inch of that hair-thin braid tightly revolves around the spool, your chances of getting a run become smaller and smaller. And the reason as to why this is so difficult is that, well, now you have to wait until that next fishing trip to wet another line.
Right around the 59-second mark. Oh, no. I gotta see that one. He's like pulling swords out.
Dude, if he cuts it right there and he just adds in the sing.
Take notes, right, dog?
Yeah, I hope you gotta be listening. We just got the perfect ending to your thing.
Were y'all recording?
The whole, yeah.
Well, I don't want to know what it is. Oh, the saddest part of every trip is reeling up the rods for the very last time. It's always the last thing you want to do, pack up everything before you reel in your rods. Number one. This is going to take a while. Tonight we've got to get all the gear from beach camp to base camp. And we're going to pack up everything that we don't necessarily need for tonight
after dinner, so that way in the morning we can just wake up, pack up our tents and get out of here. I really want to get out of here early as possible, really. Not gonna lie, heavy fatigue setting on right now. Feeling a little bit of a nagging pain in my right hamstring. I think it'll be okay, just need to make sure, eat well tonight and sleep well. That'll be massively important for tomorrow. Here comes the tricky part, making sure I don't let the kayak slip off this edge right here. Momentum, or you want to go for it? Let's go for it. Hardest part of the entire journey right here. The legs are giving. So steady. Think low speed right now, Bird. Low speed.
Really saved the.
Poor Jamie falls right in the
Delectable right there.
So Jamie don't cook for us.
Top notch.
Hell yeah, I'd eat that all day. That's a 1.
No, it's probably really faint. Right now, everything you can see, there's not a whole lot of light. It's currently 6:45, the morning of our pack out of here. Everything's pretty much packed up, except for our tents. So we're gonna break all that down. I'm not gonna do breakfast or anything like that. Just gonna make a quick coffee and get out of here. But wanted to come up here one more time just to get a last look. It truly is wonderful to see some terrain exactly how it would be without any man-made impact, and this is a prime example of that. Body is feeling pretty beat up, but I fell asleep at like 9:30 last night and didn't wake up until about 6:45 with a few intermittent wake-ups in between, but only for a couple minutes. I was absolutely exhausted, but I needed that. So feeling good for the walk out of here today. I'm just gonna grind through it, try to get it done as quickly as possible. Kind of soak this in just for a little bit longer, and then we're gonna head out. I know it's incredibly hard to see right now. It's low light, but just packing it up. Getting all my clothes in my book bag. Can you help me with this, sir? Let me get a chance.
Yeah, what do you mean?
We're just gonna roll this up and fold it up. Sure. Quick little coffee break.
Gotta leave it better than you found it.
Don't forget that, Barry.
Oh, okay. Where's that red one at?
All right, boys, we get to it. (8:35), starting our walkout, 1.5 miles. I've got a couple t-shirts tied around one end of the kayak and then around my waist, so I'm just walking the kayak right now. I feel okay. Just gonna keep a slow, steady pace. Try to get some endorphins going. See if we can't knock this out. If you've come across me at all on the internet, it's probably that you've seen one of my workout videos in my small corner of the interwebs. I would love to attribute, and I think I should attribute, the ability to do this and go on hard physical trips like this because of training. Training just for general health in contemporary society doesn't have to be that demanding. As long as you build a decent aerobic base, you lift a few weights, train your metabolism through all of its various machinery, I think overall you're doing a really good job. But your training should match whatever pursuits you're after to some degree of intensity, so that way you're accommodated to it. Now, of course, coming out here and doing a trip like this is very hard to replicate in training, but at least the training prepares you in some way. Pulling this kayak like this with a pack, it's not easy. Feel good, legs feel strong. It's been about 10 minutes so far since we started, making good headway. Let's see if we can get this 1.5 miles done in 45 or less. So we started at what, 8:35? Mile left on the trail. Good uphill stretch right here. Let's push through it. Let me know if I'm wrong, but it looks like, I don't know if you can see those faint bobcat tracks. Someone lost a chair. It's all right. Put it in the back of the yak. A little extra weight never hurt anybody. This is my dad's hiking stick. That fell out of the bike, I guess. That might actually help. There you go. There's a better look at those tracks. Pretty cool. Taking a bit of a rest before this seemingly long and windy uphill section. 8:52 right now. All right, here we go. Just enough to catch my breath, but not so much that I lose steam. And up around the corner, we have the glowing sun painting this sand. Just a beautiful white. Truly does look like sugar. It looks like we're walking on sugar. Pure, fresh, untainted sand. Gorgeous thing to see. Another winding section coming up. The turn to the right. This one's going to be pretty tough, but I believe up here on the corner is one of the best last looks at Bayside, which we didn't really get to go to, but that's okay. The bay is beautiful in and of itself in a particular way, but I really love looking out at nothing but the ocean as far as the eye can see. It's not the most ergonomic cart. I don't know if you can see that back there, but just past the half-mile marker, half mile left, and currently looking at the most wide open and flat terrain through this trek out yet. That's pretty hopeful, and I can't really see in the distance it doing too much else in terms of up and down. So I'm gonna try to maintain a steady pace here. Seems that slower, shorter strides work a little bit better and pulling something heavy behind you like this. Absolutely love the greenery on the Cape. I imagine all of these plants stay this green year round. The host of colors out here is pretty remarkable. You have this, I wouldn't say luscious green, but like kind of like a green that just looks like it can endure. It's made exactly for the sun on this space. And then you have this beautiful white sugar stand in contrast to it. And then of course the dead wood, giving it a little bit of brown. And really those three colors outside of the sun and the sky give you the full scene. I guess it doesn't take that many colors to paint a beautiful picture. Currently 9:09. I don't know if we're gonna make it, but I know we're very close. Sort of a seeing the light at the end of the tunnel kind of thing. And as in that conversation, I see one of the cabins to the left of me that same park on Cape San Blas so graciously hosts. So I know I'm ending near the trail. In fact, I see it right here around this bend. There she is. Now, that is a rewarding feeling. Got about 75 more yards or so to go. I can make that, no problem. Just dropped the stuff off. I'm walking back. Gonna help two-man a cart. My legs, I literally feel like a feather walking right now. I feel the lightest I ever have. That is insane. Honestly, I feel like nice little jog. You good, TP? You're literally almost there. Almost there, boys.
You just took my pack.
Okay. Those cabins, by the way, would be sweet.
They're not that bad looking, are they?
I think they're like $100 a night too.
They're pretty nice looking.
Yeah.
You see the alligator sign?
Uh-uh.
It says alligators on sides of trails, blah, blah, blah. Don't frighten, don't feed, they will bite.